Hello, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be looking at the Sunjo angle head electric pole saw. This is a corded pole saw. I'll be taking it out of the box for the first time. We'll be putting the bar on and the chain, kind of going over the manual instructions here and just trying to get a little more familiar with it. I will be doing some cutting by the end of the video. It'll be really just kind of a sample cutting, so you should be able to get an idea of how well it does cut and what to expect. But for the most part, I'll be doing another video later with more in-depth cutting and kind of how it's been working for me and kind of what to expect with certain situations. So that will be something in the near future. But until then, let's go ahead and open the box up, get the saw out, and get started. Hello, and thank you for watching the video. Today I'm going to be looking at the Sunjo pole saw. This is an electric pole saw with a multi-angled head. I received this off the internet. Came in this 6-foot long box. So we're going to start by reading some specs here. The pole saw weighs 7.9 pounds, reaches 5,400 plus or minus 10% RPMs, telescopic pole length 5 foot 9 inch to 9 foot 4 inches, oil capacity 2 fluid ounces. I do not believe it comes with oil. Chainsaw overhead reach 15 foot, chainsaw cutting thickness 7.5 inches, chainsaw bar chain length 8 inches, motor is 6.5 amps. So we're going to open the box up today. We're going to take a look at the saw, put it together, and hopefully we'll be able to try it out today if it doesn't rain. So here's what to look for once you open it up. Of course, you want to make sure that your saw is in the box. After that, it says to look for the 8-inch chain, 8-inch guide bar, dual-tipped hex key wrench, cutting bar sheath, and manual and registration card. So in this box, we should have all of that. Here is the dual-tipped hex key, chain bar and chain, the sheath, protective sheath for the bar, and then the registration card here. I am going to have to assemble the chain bar and chain, and to do that I'm going to have to remove this little cap here. There's a nut underneath there. I'll unscrew that nut and then I'll be able to take this cover off here, and then we can get to the sprocket. I've got the bar here with the chain already temporarily on it, being held by a zip tie here, so we'll leave the zip tie in place until we get the chain on the sprocket. I'm using the hex key wrench and I'm just going to pry this cap off here. Now you can see they call this the end cap, the cover, so you can remove the nut, end cap nut. It's already pretty loosened here. I'm getting ready to put the cutting bar on, and just wanted to point out that the chain was already on here and it's on by the zip tie here. They did that to try to help you out here, and also to show you that what direction the chain should be going. It should be, the cutting edge here should be going forward, like you see there. And so all we have to do is just pretty much put it on the sprocket. Once we get it on, and we can cut the zip tie off later, what we need to look for is to make sure that these bar studs, they're called, one right here and then this one right here, are lined up in the slot here. And then there is a tensioner pin right here, and you control that by screwing this tensioner screw right here. So counterclockwise is going to make it go back, and I've already done that just to to get it kind of in the position that I want. And then when we tighten it, we'll be screwing it clockwise to tighten up the chain even more. In the instructions, they suggest that you wear gloves when handling the chain, and that is a good idea because it is pretty sharp. I'm going to try to do this without wearing any gloves. I don't have any at this time, so I'm just going to hope for the best here. So I'm going to put the studs here in the slot, and at the same time I'm going to try to find the pin here and put it in this hole here, and put the chain on the sprocket here. So that lines up pretty well. There's still some slack here, so I'll be using the tensioner screw that you saw to tighten that up. Okay, you can see that I have some sag here, so I want to tighten that up and get it on the bar. So to do that, I'm going to leave the cover off and get a flathead screwdriver and just screw this clockwise to tighten up the chain on the bar. Okay, so here's where I'm at. I haven't tightened it completely all the way. It's just really snug up against the bar. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and cut the zip tie. Now I could grab the cover and put that back on. So I'm going to tighten it lightly here, just about like that, because I want to still make some adjustment to the chain here. Okay, I'm going to now tighten the tension screw here just a little more, make an adjustment so that the chain is a little tighter on the chain bar here. It's pretty close actually. And I'm going to use this end. I should have used this in the beginning. I really didn't need the flathead screwdriver. So just tighten it a little bit here. Now what I'm looking for is to be able to move the chain just slightly from on the bar. I think that would be too much, and this is where you need your gloves at. I think we're where we want to be at. Maybe just a little looser than that. Now new chains will stretch according to the instructions, so we're going to go with that right there. Now I'm going to tighten the end cover nut here. And put the cap back on. Here's a look at the saw extended at 9.5 foot. That's all the way. I've pulled the telescopic pole out by using the clamp here, and then you just, you can pull it in if you want to make it smaller, which is what I'll be doing to start out with. But once you get your position, just clamp it down like that. Let's go look at the angle here. There's one thing that I don't like about the saw, and that is that I can't set it upright for like putting the oil in, it's very, well, I've got it up right now in a good position, but you can see the bottom here doesn't really have a flat square surface at all. So let me show you the angle here where you can, right now it's at 0 degrees, and then you can turn this knob here and angle the head all the way to 30 degrees there. And I have a manual pull saw next to this saw, so it extends out to a little over 13, around 13 and a half foot with the blade on. So you're going to have quite a bit more length with the smaller, with the manual pull saws. Much lighter as well. This is a great saw. And the reason that I chose the angled saw head on the electric saw here is because I'm used to using this manual pole saw with angled heads, so I just went ahead and got that. I'm going to start out using it in the way it is, 0 degrees here, just straight up, and there may not even be a reason with an electric saw to have it angled, but because a lot of them aren't, I've noticed, but I definitely like the angled on these manual saws. But anyway, that's another video. Alright, so we got the chain on, and I have to put oil in the saw now. They do not provide oil, so I had to buy this bar and chain oil here. So I'm just going to be putting oil in here, and I'm going to fill it up to the top there. One thing I want to go back over is the chain tension. There's some troubleshooting tips here. If the chain runs but the chain speed is low, the chain is too tight, so we'll need to retension that if that happens. Bar and chain running hot and smoking, the chain tension is too tight, retention. Chain oil tank is empty, refill. The lubrication holes are plugged, clean them out. And then we got the saw motor runs, but chain is not turning. The chain tension is too tight, retention. The guide bar or chain is damaged, inspect and replace the damaged part. So if you do have one of these saws, if you're going to use one, there's a lot of stuff in here for making sure that you're using it properly, but also safely. It talks about a lot of things. With the cord, you don't want a cord that's over 100 foot, an extension cord that's over 100 foot. There's special extension cords to use. And I'm not going to be able to cover all that in the video, but things like if it's wet, you're not supposed to be using an electric chainsaw if it's wet outside or raining. So a lot of it's common sense. But anyway, I'm going to put this oil in, and then we should be getting close to trying this out for the first time. With the pole extended, I don't have to worry about getting into all this poison here. And I can get the saw close to the base of the tree and buzz off some of those low-lying limbs there. taking a break now. I've got the saw unplugged and I'm going to add some oil. You can see that the level is down, and this will be the first time that I have added oil. The chain tension is still good. So I'm not going to bother tightening that. If I do need to tighten it, I'll just tighten it right here at the retention screw. Don't need to take the cover off to do that. So let's add our oil and get back to using the saw. Well, I've got quite a bit of limbs down today. Didn't have any problems with the saw, worked very good. Didn't cut any super thick limbs today. I think around 3 inches or so is probably the thickest. Something like this right here. But I see no reason that the Sunjo would not cut, say, up to 7.5 inch limbs. The bar itself is 8 inches. So now would be nice to have just a regular chainsaw to cut some of these up so that I could move them easier. And Sunjo does have a dual or a combo kit where you can take the head off from the pole saw and convert it into just a regular chainsaw. At this point, that would be kind of nice to have. Another thing, I did not use the angled feature on the saw, and I really don't think that I need it for this. I thought it'd be nice to have, but I've just left it in the 0 degree position straight up and had no problems cutting quite a few limbs. A lot of those Leyland cypress are down. I probably cut around 100 limbs today, but that'll be it, I guess. I don't know what else to say right now, but it's not going to take the place of a manual pole saw for certain situations. You can get higher limbs with a regular manual pole saw. You're really not supposed to extend your hands over your shoulder when you're holding this electric pole saw, according to the instructions. So we'll definitely be using the manual pole saw as well. And plus the manual pole saws do have a pruning rope on them, which makes them very handy as well. So maybe I'll do a video on that someday. But I guess that'll be it today. So thank you very much for watching. Again, that's the Sunjo Red. Oil, I only changed the oil once, and still has quite a bit in there. The only thing I don't like about this saw, and I think I said it before, was that I can't set it upright because the way this is right here, it's not flat or squared off. So when you're changing oil, it's kind of awkward to do. And when you lay it down, you have a chance that your oil may leak out if you don't have your cap on tight. That really is the only thing that I think could be, made a little better or changed. But that's it, really. So thank you for watching the video, and until next time, have a great day out there, and take care.